It is such a pleasure meeting with you today. We really want to know how you all met. Can you tell us?
You want to?
How we met?
Yes.
Well, it's a long story. One thing. We met in my wife's hometown, Lexington, Mississippi. At the prison, they were having junior senior prom, and the band I was in was invited up to entertain them. So we met there. Well, we were playing music. Three beautiful young ladies came across and sat down, but they had back to us at the prison, and we were trying to figure out the other band members how we're going to meet these young ladies. Mm-hmm. How we did that is that the manager of the band happened to be a graduate of that school. He graduated years ago, but he was our manager in our band. So he talked to the principal, and the principal gave us permission to meet these young ladies. And we met these young ladies, three of us, but I was one who was very fortunate to get to. At the time, I didn't realize I was meeting my wife then.
Oh, wow.
But we was young at the time. I was 17 years old. And I think you had just made 15, baby.
Not quite.
Okay. And then that's one thing about it. And whew, what else can I say about Macy? Say something. How we met.
That's how we met.
Uh-huh.
And you started writing,
Yeah.
and I would answer. And that went on for, I don't know how long. Next prom night, he came back and brought a corsage.
Oh.
So I guess that meant we had a date for that night.
We did. Yes.
Anyway, the letters kept crossing, and they kept crossing, and finally he was called into the Air Force. So that meant letters again. I think we wrote every day. Every day I expected a letter, and I think he did too.
I did.
So that went on for 4 years.
Yeah. That's right.
So you kind of knew from the beginning some kind of way that this was something special, and it wasn't going to be like a fly-by-night, we date a little bit, then go run off with somebody else. You sort of like knew that you had your soulmate around that time?
It was a different feeling.
Yeah. There was something about that night.
So did you say something about that night? So the night that you met her, you knew?
Yeah, I could feel it. I have to say yes, because I felt something that year. I really did. I was very young too, but I still felt something.
I think we felt that we wanted to keep in touch.
Okay. Oh, and the art of writing letters is a lost art. So
Yes.
I love that you all wrote letters and not only expected that to get a letter, but you really were anxious to write letters to each other.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this: so when did you propose, Joe?
Well, after I came home from the Air Force and went back to college, maybe 2 more years ago, and I proposed in my junior year. I think it was because, yes, when I came back, I was a junior. Yes, in my junior year, I proposed to her. I had to all that time. Okay.
That's not quite right.
What do you mean?
When he went into the Air Force, he asked me if I would wait for him. So I think that was a sort of proposal.
I agree. That was sort of a proposal.
So yeah, so like I said, the letters continued to cross, and when he returned, I think he expected me to be available, and I was.
She was.
You waited.
Yeah.
I waited.
So you knew too.
I felt something.
And she had to wait a little longer. I had to go 2 more years to college, you know. And wasn't no married her without I get my college degree. So there it was. And she had graduated from college. See?
Okay.
And
I graduated when he went back to school, as he said, and I was fortunate to get a job on the campus. Our president needed a secretary, so I was offered the job there, so I worked there while he was back in school.
So what school was that?
Alcorn State University.
Alcorn State University. Okay.
I should emphasize that.
The real school.
See? They always teased me because the school I attended was the private school, Tulu College. That's about 5 miles north of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a rough school though. You had to really dig to stay there.
Really?
But one of the things when I stayed in real school, they had everything sport-wise. See, in my school, they weren't good in sports at all. Never.
Were you on a team?
Huh?
Were you on a team?
No. when I returned, I didn't even join the band anymore. In the choir, somehow I got beyond that. I don't know what all I did was came back to school and just hit the booth. That's all.
Okay. Because you were in the Air Force, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
the letters stopped at that point.
Oh, they did?
The letters stopped at that point, but the phones rang.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
So did you send him pictures?
I sent one picture.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't have a lot of them at the time, but I sent him one
So do you remember how you proposed?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me think. Wow.
Macy, I know you remember.
picture. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Women always remember.
Yeah, women. Yeah, we always remember.
okay.
I was visiting them, and out of nowhere, he reached in his pocket and put this ring on my finger.
Oh.
So I guess that was a real proposal.
Of course. Of course.
And you said yes, or did you say, "Let me think about it"?
Well, after all that time, I just said yes.
We know that. At that particular time, a lot of my friends returning home, go back to God, y'all get engaged and all that now. There was a thing going on.
So you joined the bunch.
Oh yeah, I ain't going that bad way.
Oh.
You didn't want to let her slip away.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
And especially she had waited for you all that time, so
Yeah.
I know you definitely didn't want to let her slip away.
Oh, sir. All right, that was something. And when I came back, and she had to wait some more. What is that? 2 more years to wait.
Wow. See, that's love. That is love.
We could have just said, let's get married when I first came home, but that was out.
Mm-hmm.
That was out, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She wanted me to graduate too.
See, so that was wonderful though. You all had a plan, and then so you all got married because you said there are no photographs because you all forgot about a photographer because you all were so in love. You all didn't think about that.
Oh,
We
my.
thought of everything else except pictures.
I'm just amazed nobody took pictures.
Nobody. Well, iPhones were not available at that time.
That's true. This is true.
But nobody had a camera of any kind. For
Oh,
some reason, I guess they assumed that we would have, naturally would have pictures of the wedding.
so is that why you all decided to renew your vows?
That could be. Yes. I mean, 50 years later.
50 years later. That was what, 2007? Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And so how long have you all been married in total?
62 years.
62 years.
Say it out loud.
62 years.
So, you know I have to ask this.
Go ahead.
What is the secret
Oh.
of a long, happy, not just long, a long, happy marriage? Because you two look so in love.
Really?
We always say put God first. That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And from now, God saw us through. That's all.
One of my aunts told us shortly after we got married that marriage depended on common sense,
Okay.
understanding, and management.
Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we found that those things are important, although we put God first, and we found that those things matter too, because a lot of couples break up because of financial problems or misunderstanding each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we find that makes sense.
And selfishness. You know, I've seen a lot of marriages fall apart because it's always starting with I
Yeah.
want this, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you mention the she or the he, it's something negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and rather than put yourself in your partner's position, you know, in your partner's position and try to look at it from their point of view, their eyes, you know, they don't want to do that. It's just me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of weddings are based on the glamour.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure some people even hear the vows.
Yeah, I can believe
I'm
that.
wondering, because I don't know if I should say this, you can edit it, but we had a relative who got married, and honestly, by the time the check cleared, they were separated.
Whoa.
I mean, our gift,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh, my
think it
goodness.
lasted over 3 months.
Oh, wow.
I saw a wedding where they actually separated during the afterwards.
During the
The
reception?
reception, yeah.
Really?
Wow.
They had a fight at the reception.
Oh my
Split
goodness.
up.
Oh,
So it
man.
makes you wonder what kind of marriage did they have in the first place?
That's and I would have taken my cake to go. But I mean, yeah, but I do think that, you know, Macy, you brought up something that really is true. Sometimes people focus so much on the wedding that they really don't focus on what is going to happen after it's all over.
Okay.
You know, and especially with the amount of money people spend for weddings,
Oh.
you would think they would focus on what happens after.
Right.
You know, and it really does seem like, well, I know it doesn't seem like you all been married this long. You all focused on what was going to happen after. Like I said, you all didn't even hire a photographer. You all had forgotten about that. I mean, some people, that is the ultimate. I think that's one of the first things people think about. I must have a photographer to capture this day.
Right.
You know, I once actually went to a wedding where you could actually see that it wasn't gonna make it necessarily, and yeah, that's probably all they had left with the pictures to look back on.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's wonderful. You can look back on how long you've been married and still have that love. That I think that's what I see. And well, you all do a lot of things together as well, because you two sing in the choir together.
We sing in 3 choirs.
Okay, name the choirs. I'm here. 3 choirs. Okay, name the choirs.
The Agape at South Lawn, our church. Mouth is More Than a Cafe chorus. And 7 Last Words in the Spring.
Oh, wow.
With Joe, what's his last name?
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith, yeah.
So love and music keep you all together.
And another thing, we've had a lot in common.
Okay.
We like a lot of the same things, like some sports,
Mm-hmm.
and music.
Oh
We
yeah,
like
music.
more or less the same kind of music.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what else?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, especially years ago, we found it beneficial to discuss plans that we would do.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We discuss it before one would go ahead and do
That's right.
the
That's
job.
See, so basically, it's not opposites attract. You have to have something in common.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I feel that helps.
You all have a lot in common, like you said. So 3 choirs, wow. So, so let me ask you this: when you all, because I'm going back to when you renewed your vows, did you all write vows for each other, or did you do the standard?
We did the standard more or less. The captain actually, captain on the ship.
Uh-huh.
That was something the captain of the ship.
Yeah, it was more or less standard. We didn't write our vows.
Okay. Were you as excited as you were on your original wedding day?
We was excited. It was different.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on that ship, been on that cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
That was different.
Uh-huh.
And we were surprised. We thought on the ship it would be a little corner thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we discovered our children had planned the whole
Yeah.
shebang.
Oh, nice.
The big wedding cake, the champagne,
Mm-hmm.
the stroll down the aisle.
Yeah.
My son took me that time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was pretty exciting. They had the runway and everything.
Oh.
And so many relatives were with us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The thing about it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, you're 2 very special people, and I could see why there was a whole bunch of people wanting to share that with you.
Yes.
I
Definitely.
want to go off in a slightly different direction. When you, Joe, when you had to go off into the Air Force, did you see any action?
Yes.
Okay.
It close to the end. Before that, I was too busy doing something else. So, close to the end, I got into some action.
Wow.
But it didn't stay long. I was just there for, what, B-29, B-4 or whatever. We landed. I had to stay for about, 4 weeks, about a month. That's all what President Truman and General Douglas MacArthur, that's all they wanted us to do. That was something special. So they had all this other thing. All they wanted to do, come over, bomb, and end it off, and then get back home.
So come over, bomb, end it all, and come back home.
But I didn't come back to the United States. I went back to Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. And so all that travel.
So when you were there, I think you told us before that your brother was in the service too,
Oh, yeah, World War II.
World War II, and he was one of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that is awesome.
Yes, it did. Don't I know? Wait.
Historical Tuskegee Airman.
I'm telling you.
Oh.
Yeah, but the thing about him, he was in Europe, coming out of Italy where they had the base. But when the war ended in Europe in 45, I think, yeah, and then the war ended in Japan in 46. So in 45, when it ended, the Tuskegee Airmen, they broke up a wee bit, not broke up, but they sent some of the younger airmen to Japan, and so that's when he had to go over there. He stayed for a while. Then when the war finally ended, he didn't go back to Europe. he came back. He came to the United States. See, it's different. Wow. Yeah.
And you know the funny thing about just being in service, I never thought that he would not get back.
Okay.
It never dawned on me that he might not make it back.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah.
We were talking about that a few days ago. I never thought that he was not coming back.
So you said, I'm waiting because I know he is coming back.
Right.
That's wow.
Wow. That is, like I said, that is absolutely beautiful.
Well, in the regular, that's what happened to my sister-in-law, my brother's wife.
Mhm.
She waited all that time for him.
Mm.
He came back to her.
Wow.
Yes.
So during the course of going to school, going to the military, graduating, getting married, what were your careers like?
Oh, I had a lovely career. Oh, yes. I had two of them though.
Mm-hmm.
At first, before I became a teacher, I was a medical research technology. It was all right. It was in the pathology department, over in Northwestern University. It was nice, but I got a little tired of it. Then I realized that I could become a teacher, teach in the daytime, and then maybe work at night in the lab. Just thinking about it. But back to being a teacher, wow, that was beautiful. People don't want to believe me when I tell them I didn't have any trouble.
I was a substitute. I can see why they don't believe it.
Okay.
But that's now.
No, yeah.
It's a totally different scene from probably at the time that you were doing your teaching, because there was more respect for teachers and understanding the valuable lessons that they were doing. The thing that they were trying to shape minds to bring them into a future, which I think a lot of the kids these days don't really understand that. They think that going to school is doing somebody else a favor,
Oh,
rather than,
okay.
learning this so that you can have a future and not be stuck on a corner somewhere or, something like that. Back then they cherished education.
Yes, that's true.
And I'm sure most of the teachers, back then really cared about their students more than, let's say, their salary. Whatever.
Well, also I would think that it was a little bit easier back then when the minimum wage, when the way the climate was and whatnot, that salary wasn't like at the foremost part of your brain. You know what I mean? And Macy, what did you do?
As I told you, when I graduated, the dean of the college, I had done student work for several of the administrators, and I ended up in the dean's office. So when I graduated, the dean's secretary was leaving, and he approached the president and asked him if I could work full-time for him. President told him, well, if she's that good, my secretary's leaving, I need her. So for the 2 years that he was in school, I worked at the college, as I told you.
Yeah.
And now, when we got married, we came here for a 2-week honeymoon that hasn't quite ended yet.
All right, I like that.
So I went to Johnson Publishing.
Oh, really?
I worked there for a year, and friends encouraged me to become a teacher. So I had the credentials, and I gave it a try.
Yes,
So I worked at Marshall High School for think 3 years. And we decided we wanted a family. So I took off from teaching to be a homemaker.
Yeah.
And that, I think, was my greatest career, rearing my own children.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, you know, I stayed home with them until they were well in school. And as Norma said, I did some substituting here and there, but I didn't go back full time
No.
because I was always home for them when they were
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
So that's about the size of my career.
No, that was a very important career,
Mhm.
you know. And see, now you're like in retirement.
Yes.
Kids are grown, you have your grandkids and all that stuff, and you're in retirement, you can enjoy all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wouldn't trade it.
And they still look like fresh newlyweds too.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Like I said, I can not only see the love, but I can feel the love.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
My goodness. God.
And like I said, may I say, it has been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to interview you two. And especially Valentine's Day month, well actually because I consider Valentine's Day a whole month. This is my candy holiday.
Any excuse to get candy.
But like I said, just about love, I mean just love, 365 days out of the year, and 366 is we're in a leap year.
Yeah.
Love, and it's just wonderful to see two people that are still in love with each other after all these years. They're not tolerating each other, but they are in love with each other. And I mean, every time I never see one without the other, which is really great.
But we have one car.
One car. That's why.
Okay, that's why.
So if we're going anywhere, we have to go together.
Oh, there you
And the
go.
car's a little shaky now. The car's old now.
Oh wow.
But seriously, we've had a lot of togetherness. Maybe too much. I don't know. They say you should let each other breathe. But like I said, we have a lot in common. So you want to do this, okay. You want to do that, okay. So it just makes a lot of togetherness.
And I think that's absolutely wonderful, that it's not a thing of you feel like you're stuck with each other. You all really want to be together. That means a lot, you know. So, but it has been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for inviting us into your beautiful home. Beautiful home, yeah, with great food. This woman can cook people.
I'm glad you think so. And it's been a pleasure to have you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Oh, for me, it's been a pleasure because I've admired you two for it was about 40 years. I think.
You met us long.
A
Wow.
long time ago. It was about 40 years.
40 years, wow.
And
Plus,
they were the same then as they are now. I mean,
Oh, that is awesome.
they are a sweet couple. You can look at them and tell them that they care about each other. And, they're the type that if you are going to get married, you want to watch them and sort of like make yours like theirs.
Something to
Learn
aspire
from
to. Yeah, they learn from them.
Yeah.
This is something to aspire to. That's true. That
And
is true.
I thank you two for being you.
Yes.
Because even though you may not realize it, I'm sure you have inspired a whole bunch of people that for the true meaning of what a marriage is supposed to be, for what relationships are supposed to go like. You can clown around with each other, you can do all sorts of things, but you do it together.
Yep.
That's why.
okay.
I mean, you know, you all are the epitome of love, and I am so true. I'm not just saying it to say it, and like I said, and it's so awesome. And you know, and as we close, guess what happened? We had a timer go off, and I didn't even know that was going to happen. We'll cut that out.
Yeah.
So, but truly, you all are the epitome of love, and it is just a wonderful thing to not only get to know you, but to get to know more about you.
No.
And you know, as we close, is there? Do you all have any wisdom you would like to give the younger people that are getting married or are already embarking on their marriage journey?
We emphasize putting God first.
Yes.
If we put Him first and do what He commands us to do, I find that things go better always. And we also share the wisdom that my aunt told us years ago.
I love that too. Yeah.
And
Oh.
so you really need those things
Mhm.
and focus more on the vows than the elaborate wedding. Weddings are beautiful, all right, but I think we need to know what we're saying we're going to do.
I love that. So Norma, would you like to add anything before we close?
Just keep being you,
Okay.
and you know, maybe you won't see it or something. Not enough people will come up and say, you know, thank you because you influenced me. You did this for me. You did that for me. But I can just about guarantee that in the gates of heaven, they got all that recorded, and they're saying, you know, Joe and Macy. Now that's a couple.
That's a couple.
I hope you're right.
And to our viewing audience, thank you all for joining us, and I hope you got some nuggets of wisdom from this wonderful couple. And they have already done it for us. They have already planted the seeds. So if you all will actually pay attention, you all can see how it's grown in their lives and let it grow in yours. So remember always to plant a seed and watch it grow. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, yes.